Hello again, everyone. Welcome to the Options Mentor. I hope you're having a very nice holiday weekend, or at least a good 3-day weekend from the market, wherever you may be, as it's Labor Day weekend here in the United States. So here we come off a week. We had an all-time high, and now we're heading into September, often one of the rougher months of the year for the market. Although in the middle of September, we do have a Fed meeting where it is expected they will do a rate cut, probably a quarter point. But between now and then, we have all kinds of reports this week that the market will certainly be poring over to see if it lends more credibility or more willingness towards the Fed cutting these rates. This week, we do have the PMI on Tuesday, the JOLTS on Wednesday, and Friday, the big non-farm payroll number. They'll be looking, there's talk of a possible massive downward revision, which of course would make things look a little worse, and they think would embolden the Fed, if that happens, to cut rates to help the economy. But all that's coming this week, so we have a lot to buckle up for. Could be some movement here for sure. And we want something that we're going to put on to give us lots of room for market movement. So as I was thinking about that, I looked at the chart, see we're all the way up here, but we don't have all that much support, to be honest, well under 6,400 before there's any. And then it could be, we could run all the way down to 6,200 if the market happened to get bad news. Now, I doubt any of the news reports this week would drive the market down that far, but it may keep it from new all-time highs or take some of the luster off or go ahead and propel it further. I think most of this uh, market move we've had is pricing in that rate cut. I think anything else will be a minor confirmation if it's good news towards getting a rate cut, and we could go a little higher. But I don't know that there's, like another 100 points up or anything like that before the news comes out with whatever the Fed decides there in the middle of the month. So I was thinking about this. We have here a double diagonal, which you guys know I use frequently. We got the VIX just over 15. It's a long Vega trade. I like this trade a lot, as you know it, but it is for next Friday, not this Friday. We don't want to touch anything this Friday, as there'll be a lot of moving around. And indeed, even on this Friday itself with that jobs number, you'll easily could be held up with something that expires in that you just started being very problematic. So I went out to the following week and I went up and bought the 65.15 long, and we closed here at 64.60. Remember, this is Sunday. I'm basing whatever I show here on Friday's close. Things could certainly be different when we open again on this coming Tuesday morning. But I bought the 65.15, sold the 65.20. And then on the put side, I'm usually willing to be a little closer. And I went down about 40 points here, bought the 64.20, sold the 64.10. For those of you who don't know why I do this, 5 points on one on the call side and 10 on the other, I want you to just take a look here. What if we go to 63.70? You see we're down 50 bucks. Now, if I'm 10 points wide on the call side and we go to 63.70, I'm down $175. So what happens is it's not very symmetrical. Look, you make more money up here, lose a lot more money here. But if we do it 5 points wide on the call side, then you will see that it's a little more symmetrical on both sides, which is what we want. If you're truly trying to be non-directional, you don't know where the market's going, it's better to be that way. Now, if you had a bullish flavor or feeling inside yourself, you could certainly do the 10 points wide if you like, but you would be taking on more downside risk. So with this trade, if we pay around $1,050, normally like to get 8 or 10% and get out. So you'd be looking to make a little over $100 or right at $100 per contract. That would be our goal. An easy way to do this, if you paid, say, $10.55, just put in your order to sell it at $11.55. You made $100, which is right there, 9 point something percent, whatever. Certainly you can make it for a little more and get the full 10 if you like. But This gives you a lot of movement. If we could go up 100 and you're still well within the graph, down 100, still well within the graph. So that's a good feeling. Also, volatility is a little bit low. Now, if we go down into the 14s, certainly this graph will sag a little bit. You won't have quite as much ceiling to it, and it may even contract on the edges. But it's still is very unlikely for it to go, say, all the way down to 13s or something like that. That probably wouldn't happen until if we got a rate cut, that might happen. I can see that, but that's not coming till the end, till the, excuse me, the middle of September. So this should be a nice wide trade to get you through what could be a very busy week with news, which is what I like about it. If you'd like to be with me all week this week and every week, check out the links in my description. You'll see how to join me over there, join my trade alert service, and then you can learn how to fully manage these trades. Sometimes I get comments and people want to know, hey, what'd you do with this? What'd you do with that? Well, if you want to know how to fully manage a trade, you have to join my service over at aramer.com. Links in the description. I just show these here to give you an idea of the things that can be done with non-directional strategies. So that's what I have for this week, folks. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and alert buttons here in YouTube. And I appreciate you guys being here. I'll be back next Sunday with another edition of the Options Mentor. I hope you have a great weekend. Enjoy tomorrow off from the market. We'll be right back at it Tuesday. Talk with you next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye.